capital of Ankara, has found that activists who participated in University Pride March couldn't be held responsible for crime, and participating in Pride is not one. 18 students and a professor who were previously detained, charged, and prosecuted over their participation at a pride parade in Middle East Technical University in Ankara on May 10, 2019, were acquitted on Friday, according to a press release from the international LGBTQ+ rights group ILGA-Europe. Their participants had been charged with participating in an unlawful assembly and failing to disperse despite being warned. They faced up to 3 years in prison if convicted. Ankara banned LGBTQ+ events in 2017 under emergency decree following a failed military coup. Local governments across the country used the decree to ban pride marches. However, it was lifted a year later.
Whew. I watch those images and I just think how often I take pride for granted here, and how often it's so fun and, let's have a drink, let's laugh, let's be kooky and fun, and rarely do I ever think that it's going to be violent like that, or that I'm going to be shipped off to jail just because I'm being visible and being who I am.
It's a Muslim country, and so they have a very specific set of standards on masculinity, which is, you don't hear as much in Turkey about women as you do in masculinity. They have a Trump-like counterpart running. He's a Turkish strongman. You could replace him with the Brazilian president or the Russian president or the former American president, and they would be completely at home in Turkey, and vice versa, which is part of the issue. I've been to Turkey many times. I've never had an issue in Turkey, but I do know how public imaging in Turkey for LGBT is. And so I guess perhaps I've never had the situation because I've never put myself in the situation where I would be called out. There is good news in this story, even in Turkey, that the court system has made a decision independent of the political process, which is what happened here in 2019. We've reported on this story many times at Queer News Tonight. It is nice to see that the court democratic process is still alive in Turkey. In other places, like Russia and the Ukraine, it is not. So much less many of the Muslim nations. So there is a glimmer of hope of what's going on in Turkey.
Well, let's remember that, Pride in America started as a protest. It started as a protest specifically against police brutality, against queer folk, and this is an example of where Pride gets its roots. That it's not just now we think of this as like a fun celebration and all of that, but at the end of the day, it was initially, and in some cases still is, in many parts of the world and parts of the United States, is a protest. It's a fight for our lives, a fight for our rights.
Just a little side note to your observation, very interesting. I participated in Diversity Honors on Saturday, and one of the recipients of Diversity Honors was a filmmaker from Lithuania. And he was recognized for a new film and his LGBTQ stance, being involved in Baltic Pride in Vilnius, the capital in Lithuania. And as we were talking, I was interviewing him talking about Pride. He made the exact same point, and this is the second day in a row that this kind of breathlessly catches my attention. That, we talk about Orlando over the weekend and Pride Fort Lauderdale coming, and Prides are going to be fun, and there's going to be streamers, and there's going to be banners, and there's going to be shows, and there's going to be alcohol, etc. And his reaction was, there's none of that. Ours is a protest in Vilnius. That's a reminder. Wow. It reminds me here. That's exactly what happened here in 19, and why we should stand up for them.
Well, here's the good news that some folks don't know. By supporting your prides here in this country, many prides in the United States choose to be members in Interpride, which is an international association to support those prides trying to come to fruition in other countries. They have a human rights conference that's a part of that work, and they're helping to support. So if you don't know about Interpride or their work, maybe check that out online. But absolutely.
Yeah, interesting. LGBTQ+ news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ+ community.